Greetings everyone, and welcome to our very first Saiyuki podcast, where we talk about merchandise, the animes, musicals, and all news related to the series. My name is Nikki, but you also may know me as Setten Taisei on Tumblr, where I post a lot of information about the series. I try to keep it updated with news and the occasional drawing and silly meme. And today I am joined by two very awesome people.
Hi, I'm Thooluu. Been a big fan of the series since 2003. I have a blog also on Tumblr. It's just Thooluu if you want to check it out. Talk a lot about the musicals. There's lots of memes on there as well. And we also have with us Mari. Take it away.
Hi, this is Mari. I'm America Kitten on Tumblr, America Magica on Twitter, and I post a lot of merchandise news. A lot.
Well, it's a good thing because we are excited for all the merchandise coming out for the new series. I think I say that for everyone, that we're all pretty excited.
Yeah, very excited. It's been a long time coming.
I know. So why don't we talk about the biggest thing right now that's coming out? In just a couple weeks, we have the new Saiyuki Reload Blast anime that's being animated by Platinum Vision.
Yay! July 5th, right?
July 5th. I was super excited. But not only that, they're doing a special pre-screening June 17th. So those lucky folks get to see the first episode early.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about some of the things that are happening with the new anime. Basically, we obviously are getting an anime related to the final series, Saiyuki Reload Blast. One thing that's very exciting is that we are getting the original voice actors are coming back. We have a new studio. It's no longer Studio Pierrot. We have a It'll be very, very interesting. This studio is fresh. They've only really done one series, and I think that was a collaboration, I believe, with another studio. Anyway, the only series they've really done is Survamp. So I think it's going to be interesting because this could be their chance to really prove their ability as a studio. So it could go either way. It could be really, it could be okay, or maybe they really want to show what their studio is capable of.
Right, and a lot of things that we've been seeing so far is that it's been pretty faithful to the art style. Things aren't quite... Minakura's styles is pretty complicated. It's pretty hard to completely copy her style. So they've definitely stylized from Minakura's work, but it's looking really good. Things that I'm excited about. It looks like they didn't really hold back on the fight scenes, and things that we've seen in the other animes was censorship and things like
the
Gojo's
dissolving
purple hair,
the dissolving yokai.
Yeah, dissolving yokai.
The wine-colored blood.
Yes.
There is blood, guys. There's blood.
Oh,
there is
boy.
Blood. Let there be blood, yes. So I know it's kind of odd to be excited about something like that, but I went, oh, wait a second. Somebody got punched, and it's not censored. So I was excited for that.
And what's nice too is that it's what you said is absolutely true. It is very hard to mimic her style, to the point that the TV series have a hard time, and even the OVAs, which usually have a different timeline and budget. Like Gaiden and Burial did a pretty good job, but obviously you could tell there were limitations because of how detailed her style is.
Especially in the hair.
Yes. So we'll see. I mean, most of what we've seen so far from the preview could be contained within a single episode. So the quality may diminish over time. That's usually what happens in a lot of anime, is that the first episode is really great looking and things just kind of peter out or come back at the end. So I'm excited to see what they do with it, really.
And we also know that in most cases, the preview video usually is given better budget because they want to draw in the audience. So the first episode may not even be of that quality, but if they are at least trying to aim for that quality, I will be very content.
Same.
I think it's definitely prettier than anything we've had so far. OVAs barring, of course, because they're OVAs and it's completely different, but super gorgeous, and I'm excited about that.
The other thing to note with this new series is it is pretty much confirmed that it'll be 12 episodes. So just keep that in mind, which is it's a good thing because that means there leaves less room for fillers.
Yes.
I think it's a good thing.
No more bears.
Oh, goodness. Well, if there is a bear, I mean, we'll just bear with it.
Oh, get out.
Anyway, so something interesting though, that many of us were not expecting, the inclusion of Gaiden in the series. I think one of the main reasons that they brought up Gaiden is, as we know, Minakura is unfortunately very ill, so she's not able to produce chapters the way she did many years ago. So a lot of us were very concerned, how are they going to be able to fill such little content in 12 episodes? So the inclusion of Gaiden will definitely help pad the runtime, because Gaiden has, I'm trying very hard to avoid spoilers, but Gaiden will have a very big part in stuff that will happen in Saiyuki Reload Blast. And if you saw the website, you may see character art on there and you'll go, oh, okay. I think it really helps, because then that way we don't have to worry about, a bear episode, a Jumanji type, filler episode. And it's okay, the Jumanji episode was actually pretty funny, I'm not gonna lie. But we could do without a bear episode. I'm okay with not having a bear episode. But
Especially 12 episodes. I mean, if we were expecting to get right out the gate, two runs
core,
or something, then okay, you expect some fillers to be there. But
now the only thing is it's interesting, how are they going to incorporate Gaiden into, is it going to be all flashbacks? That's what I'm intrigued in. And I love the fact that they have a way to kind of buffer it, but there is a slight bit of disappointment because we've already seen Gaiden animated, but I love Gaiden, so I'm not too upset about it. And I'm also just happy because that means, again, we don't have to worry about non-canonical filler content, where we should have something that's more faithful to the story.
Speaking of that, do we want to talk about some of the concerns we have around things that might be looked over, like even a worm? Do we even want to talk about that right now?
I will warn people, just as a heads up, that we have been in this fandom, all three of us have been in this fandom for a long time, and there is a little bit of salt. Okay, I'm lying. There's a lot of salt about even a worm. Okay, so before we get into that, do we want to just really quickly mention the possibility of a old favorite coming back?
Oh, yes, we should.
There is a slight...
It's not confirmed.
It's not confirmed, but there is a hint, a rumor, that perhaps Urusei will appear in the new series. If you don't remember, who wants to explain what Urusei was? I will let somebody else talk, because I talk way too much.
The basic way that I can explain it is it's little minute-long shit posts about Saiyuki, I would say, is the best way to put it. You've got things like Hakai giving Gojo a bowl cut, them knitting sweaters to wear together and mittens all in a chain, stupid little shorts like that. Magical Girl Goku, which is a favorite of everybody at the end of Reload. So basically it's just going to be cute little, really, really ridiculous things, and a magazine scan implied that we'd have it back.
I'm excited.
That's where Gunlock went awry. I mean, everything went awry with Gunlock, but that was the final insult, right? Just taking away
can you imagine, like, Hazel and Got and Urusei? That would have been so fun.
Oh, just thinking about it makes me sad. Speaking of other sad things, of course, the lack of even a worm. Okay.
With a question mark.
With a question.
Yeah, so we're not quite sure, but...
Okay, I will tell you right now, if...
A lot of hints.
If we somehow see character art on the website of Ukoku, so many people will scream. I know this. I know this. And we know people love the Even a Worm arc. It was one of the best arcs in the series, with a lot of character development and a lot of things that there were some plot twists in there. And my concern is that if for some reason these characters show up in the new series with no explanation as to who they are, people will be very confused.
Absolutely. Unless they have some sort of flashback mechanism, or one of the characters that has been revealed may also be used as a mechanism to explain things that have happened in the past, but we just don't know yet. We really don't know. And there was a video that came out. It was Kanzian summarization video that showed panels from the manga and talked about different things that had happened up to the prior to Blast. So, and we had a lot of salt about that because there's not even a single frame of a certain fight that happens between characters. I'm not sure. Can we? It's been a while. Can we talk about that?
We'll preface with this. If you have not seen or read the arc after, if you have not read up to like volume 4 of Saiyuki Reload, or if the name Hazel does not ring a bell for you, this part will have spoilers. We are going to talk a little bit about Even a Worm, which is an arc that is the longest arc in Saiyuki, that is about 6 volumes long. Sanzo and the guys meet a gentleman by the name of Hazel, and he is like a bishop from the West. Hazel is accompanied by a gentleman named Gat. They also kind of romanize his name as Gato, but his name is Gat. Basically, over the course of the chapters, we find out about the true identity of, I'm afraid to even give out this much info, but okay, we said spoilers. We find out about a Sanzo priest named Ukoku Sanzo, and who he really is, and he definitely has it out for Genjo Sanzo, which we see, like, he does not like the guy. But he is a very interesting villain, but one of the other big things is he is an instigator, and he basically, it's very much heavily hinted in the manga that he almost kills Goku, and because of this, Seton Taisei comes out, and because of that, we get to see Hawkeye finally reveal his yokai form. And in the Kanzi and summarization video, there is not even one image of that fight. Seton Taisei and Yokai Hawkeye go head to head and beat the living crap out of each other.
And it's epic. It is the best fight, arguably, in the entire series.
It is a very good fight, and this leads.
Yeah, I do agree.
And this leads to Sanzo leaving, and so the group has to question what they're going to be doing without Sanzo, because they kind of viewed him as their leader. Sanzo then runs into Ukoku Sanzo, and then we find out some information about Hazel. And this is the reason I bring it up. In Gunlock, they did their own interpretation of Even a Worm, and it is incredibly lacking, and it made some of the characters almost out of character. They did things that you probably wouldn't have gotten in the manga, and Hazel is a much better character in the manga than he was in the anime.
Oh, by far. Absolutely. He has actual motivations that make sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
The anime.
Speaking as someone who hadn't watched the anime until last fall, I had no idea why people hated Hazel until I watched the anime. So
yeah,
that kind of is telling.
Yeah. It's very polarizing.
And we do know a lot of people are anime watchers. So that's why a lot of us really encourage people, if they can, please read the manga. The manga is just such an emotional roller coaster. The character development is so good. And the anime has this bad tendency to just give the characters one trope.
And this is definitely more so in the latter anime. It wasn't as prevalent, it seemed like, in Genzo Maiden. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, Genzo Maiden was a little better.
It was.
Well, also, I think the reason Genso did better was because they knew it was going to be filler for the second half, but they came up with a story and a plot and worked very closely with Minakura. They kind of went the wild, wild west, no pun intended, because Hazel is a southern boy, but,
Or Italian, apparently.
Oh, yeah, poor Hazel. So... And we know some people will be going into this new anime not knowing about the manga. So it's up, again, we think it's a good idea to read it. Not everybody does. That's okay. That's why we're here to kind of talk a little bit about, what you might be missing out on. Was there anything else with we've already talked about her health. Her health is a concern. Because the other thing, too, is at this time of this podcast, we haven't had a chapter since October, and this is June now.
Right.
Yeah.
But she's also
mind how many illustrations she's doing.
Yes.
So many.
Mm-hmm. She has done the art for all the DVDs and the Blu-rays, and she's also been doing a lot of what's another art that she's been doing? She's been doing stuff for the series.
She did art.
Oh, for the musicals.
For the musical, yep,
Yeah,
she
definitely
did all of the Festa art still. That was in that time span, which was a lot. There's the fact that there's the anthologies coming up, but should I talk about that later?
We'll
Or
get
should I
we'll
just
get to
seg
that
into
with
that now?
merchandise. Well, actually, if you want to, we can just talk about it now.
I mean, it's topical.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So the other illustrations are she's doing 3 different covers again for Saiyuki Reload Blast 3, which is out July 31st.
Woohoo.
Buy a copy, buy 3 copies. Or don't, love yourself and don't, but 3 copies. So that's 3 covers right there.
Support it.
That's right. Buy one of each. If there's a fourth one in Zero Sum, buy that one too.
Yeah.
She's doing the cover for Zero Sum this month, which I don't even understand. They're overworking her so much.
Yeah, poor thing.
But yeah, there's the musical cover. The animate edition of the Reload Blast 3 is supposed to come with an illustrated booklet too, similar to Saiyuki Graffiti, which was 13 pages. We're hoping it's not 13 pages, but that's a lot of work too. And then there's the 2 anthologies, a Reload Blast one and a Gaiden one that are both also out on July 31st. And with the last anthologies, she did the cover and she did 2 stories and illustrations for them. So I'm hoping that's not the case this time.
And she also did interviews. She did a lot for the last anthologies.
Yeah, she did a lot of interviews. So that's a lot of work. So it's super understandable why there hasn't been a chapter. And I'm betting you there's more promotional art for the anime that hasn't been shown yet.
Yes, I'm pretty sure this month's chapter is basically just like, hey guys, the new anime's out. I don't expect a chapter because she's already has so much on her plate, and I'm totally okay with that because poor thing, she's had so much to do. But you gotta think though, she's probably very excited as well.
Oh, I would hope so.
I would really hope so, yeah.
So going back to anime a little bit here. So we found out that we're going to have obviously new music for the opening and the ending. The opening is going to be done by a group known as GRANRODEO. And from what I could see, a lot of people are very excited. They did, I believe, an opening for Bungo Stray Dogs, which was actually pretty good. It's like a rock band type music that, when I think Saiyuki, I can definitely see rock band music. I can see them in the Jeep jamming out to
definitely.
it.
Oh yeah, they've done it before for the other animes.
And then Luck Life, which actually my browser was trying to translate it for me and it called it Rack Life, and I was very, very confused. But no, they are called Luck Life, and they kind of have a rock vibe too, but it's more like a soft rock kind of feel. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what you get with the ending songs for Saiyuki, so I can totally feel it.
Yeah.
I think it's good. I think it's time. We were already starting to talk about a little bit about it. Let's talk a little bit more about merchandise and other news.
There's so much.
Oh gosh, so much.
Mari's losing her mind.
I absolutely.
Remember
the unfortunate.
I'm sorry, remember when we were like thirsty for merchandise news and it was like maybe once a year you would get something? Our blogs are constantly updated now.
We're thirsty and now we're drowning.
Pretty much.
We thought, once the Sansa figure came out, that was going to maybe be it and some charms. No, it's madness.
Like every week now there's something coming out and we're just like, for a part of us is like, slow down, my wallet can't take this. And the other part of us is like, no, keep it coming. Don't stop. Do not stop. Because we know it won't, like this is a very exciting time to be a Saiyuki fan.
The problem is so much of the stuff is exclusive to Animate, which does not ship overseas. You can use Bai to buy from them directly, and it's super effective. They're super responsive. It's just a little bit tricky, and I will be updating a thing to show how to do that specifically because it's not on the dock right now. But Ami Ami and CD Japan have been slowly getting new things. It's been a lot of the new promotional art, which I know a lot of people don't necessarily like, but the more stuff that people buy, the more stuff is going to come out. That's just how it works. And with Servamp, the other series that Platinum Viz did, they put out a lot of merchandise for it. It has over 1,000 entries on my figure collection, which is what I use to track my merch. So that's a lot.
That's awesome. the great thing is, it's just there's some art you may not like, but there is some art that you do like, and any support that you offer, if you buy it or even if you tell people about it and they buy it, it helps support the show, and then that way the better the budget, the better the quality of the show. Or if they see a lot of people really like the merchandise and want to support it, there's maybe the opportunity for other animations to come out. Because if you notice any popular series, if like their DVD sales are good or their merchandise sales are good, it's like, oh, maybe we can, do another season of this show. So just food for thought.
Buy things. We might get even a worm OVA someday.
The salt comes out again. To be fair, there's only really been one particular piece of art that we all went, oh, what were they thinking? But everything else has been pretty slick, personally.
Can I just say what my favorite merchandise that I've seen so far is?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes.
Okay, obviously the Sansa statue is amazing, but the one thing I'm really excited for is the jewelry that they're coming out with. Yes. It looks so pretty, and the fact that it's nice, but it's also very vague. So like you're gonna have Sansa, like one of them is Sanso's gun and his crown on like a necklace, and it's vague, but it then somebody could be like, hey, that's really cool, and you could be like, oh yeah, it's from Saiyuki. But it's also not gonna, like, if you're hiding the fact that you're a big nerd for Saiyuki, you just be like, oh yeah, check out my necklace, it's cool. But it's done very, very well from what we've seen from the promotional pictures. Sanzo gets his gun and a crown. Gojo has his shakujo, and I think there's a note on there that says he has a kiss mark on it, which is adorable and silly. Goku's, we believe, hopefully is two different rings. One of them is his diadem, and one is his nyoibo. And then Hawkeye's is actually really cool because it's like it's a bracelet, but it's like one that kind of loops, and the part where it chains and latches together has Hakuryu as part of the clasp, and they all have a little jewel that is related to their color, and they all have somewhere inscribed their number.
They're really well done. I really love Hawkeye's too, because part of it looks like his limiters, and there's bindings.
Yes.
It's really how they did that.
They're all cool because they're all different too. They all have their own unique style.
Speaking as someone who's bought jewelry from them before, the prices are steep but reasonable. I think my perspective with that's a little different because I buy merch constantly. But the only thing that I do advise anyone looking to buy them is to please be careful, because I got bad reactions from one of the rings I got from them once. Just allergy-wise, I'm really sensitive to metal, though, so that may not be the case for everybody. And like in the case of Gojo's necklace, it doesn't look like the chain is made of metal, so as far as I can tell. So I don't think that'll be as much of a problem, for example. But just keep in mind when you buy, and those probably will not be exclusive, as their products usually aren't. But this is Saiyuki. Who knows?
So the other thing, it just came out, so you actually can purchase these. They're also available on AmiAmi if you need a non-proxy way to buy them. Some Saiyuki little rubber stamps have come out, and what's interesting about them is that it has all four of the main guys, and they're paired up with another one of the guys. So you have like Gojo with Hawkeye and Goku with Sanzo and Gojo. So it's funny that they basically have every pairing. So if you like Gojo with Goku, they have a stamp just for that. The style is very chibi-like. They have some people have commented that they don't like the spiral lines, but that is the style that company usually uses. But they're also bringing out Gaiden rubber stamp. Well, not Gaiden. It's anime styled Gaiden and the regular guys. So they're going to have basically a bunch of different rubber mascot stamps coming out, and they're pretty big in size from what I can see from the preview images. They look like they're at least about 1 inch to 2 inches. They're not small. They're pretty big.
Yeah, they're not. Mine haven't arrived yet, but just based on other stuff from them that I have and similar stuff, they're probably a bit bigger than the normal rubber stamp is.
Some fun things too. There was a cafe event in May. There was
that
none of us could go to, but some people did, and they took pictures. So we got to live through their in spirit. And one thing that they had, obviously exclusives, and they had these special little desserts and food and drinks and stuff that you could get that were themed around the Saiyuki guys. Like, I think Goku's dessert was ice cream, and then Sanzo had like like a drink, and it was purple in color. And they had foods that basically you could be like, yeah, I could see Hawkeye eating that. They also had little acrylic charms of all the characters eating and drinking in this very adorable chibi. If I could say anything for the anime, their chibi art is amazingly cute.
It's really cute.
Oh my god,
is
it's
so
the best. I actually still cannot find what website the Journey to the West style charms are on either, speaking of which, and it's driving me insane because it's everyone in their original outfits.
Yes, they did. They did an April Fool's joke where the website changed and they were wearing outfits that looked like the old original Journey to the West. So Sanzo had more like old school traditional robes. Hawkeye was wearing like a little white hat on his head, and they had like these really really old folky looking outfits, and it was just hilarious to see that callback. And of course they changed it the day after, but the fact that they're making merchandise of that art just makes me so happy because it was adorable.
It's super cute, and I think it's like one of the most unique parts of the merchandise so far because we've had Minakoto draw stuff like that, but we've had nothing like official that we can hold in our hands of it, and it's just a really cute callback, and I love it.
Oh, I know, it's so cute. An event that we actually don't know much about, but we're keeping an eye on, is there's something called the Dash Store, and they did art of the boys in like summer wear. Goku's got an inner tube. Sanzo is looking at you with a unamused expression behind some sunglasses. So we're not really quite sure, but there's a page for merchandise, so we know more goods are coming. So we'll make sure to keep our blogs updated when we get any more information on that. I think the next big part is to talk about musicals.
Yeah, well,
Musicals.
yeah, musicals are great. Unless you're Nikki. I'm sorry.
No. Musicals are great. I'm an animation person. I've always grown up with animations, but I definitely think they did a very good job of picking the actors for the musicals. I'm
Yes,
not
they
as
did.
well knowledgeable about it, so I will let you guys take over.
Yeah, so for the uninitiated, wow, uh, there have been not one, not two, but 5 Saiyuki musicals. So we were just talking about merchandise, and there's a few things related to musical merchandise. There was a special that they created for Festa called Bullets, which consisted of skits with the musical actors doing all these different silly things, like a Wizard of Oz skit, a cooking skit, cooking classes. For example, that skit has Sanzo and Hakai and me in the skit. So it's just a bunch of silly, crazy skits that they put together ahead of Festa. It wasn't a stage event, and they are releasing a DVD of those skits. As a matter of fact, as part of that, they're doing bonuses depending on where you purchase that, and they also added additional skits for the DVD. So 2 more skits were added. So that DVD is coming out on the 28th of this month, June. And depending on where you purchase it, you get different bonuses. So if you purchase it through Amazon, there is a 2 postcard set that's coming out. If you purchase it through Animate, there is a bromide set with the Sanzo Iko. And if you purchase it, and correct me if I say this, is it Clee Town? I also have 2 bromides for that. So very exciting stuff. That's coming out on the 28th. And then additional to that, something we had been talking about for a while is getting cast recordings, and they are also dropping on 6/28 a Go to the West CD, and it has a version of the Go to the West theme. All of the songs are the Go to the West song, but for each musical, they change the lyrics depending on what's going on, and there's also different actors that are singing it depending on who's in that given production, stage production. So there's 2 different Bullets versions. One is instrumental, and there is a version of Godchild musical, Burial and Reload. So pretty excited for that because there's never been a cast recording of the song. So hoping that's going to be decent quality. if you purchase from, let's see here. Okay, for Animate, if you purchase the Bullets DVD and the musical CD together, and Mari did this, you get a clear file.
I sure did.
Yeah, canceled your order with CD Japan to get this. You get a clear file.
No, I canceled from CD Japan.
Yeah, no, you canceled CD Japan to do the Animate.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you get a clear file. Now, I did see, so as part of this whole Bullets and Festa thing, they released a special called Over the Bullets on Tokyo MX1 on late December. And this was kind of talked about the musicals, primarily the latter three it talked about. And it also had behind the scenes things for the making of Bullets. They're releasing that on a DVD as well, separate from the Bullets release. So just the Over the Bullets special, but it's extended with additional interviews and things like that. And that has its own set of bonuses as well. So for Amazon, you get 2 bromides. And then for Animate, it was listed as having the lottery. There's going to be a cast talk event in October of this year. Mm-hmm. And that's what I saw. It was on Over the Bullets. So it's kind of interesting that they were releasing Over the Bullets separate. And the reason why I say that is that with all the other musicals that they have released, now given Bullets isn't a standard musical stage production sort of deal, but the way it's been so far is you have 2-disc release per musical. And 1 disc is the musical, and the second is behind the scenes. Now, from the first musical, Go to the West, it was only about a 45-minute behind the scenes sort of deal, but going up to the latest musicals, you get about 2 hours of backstage content. So I thought it was very interesting that they're releasing Over the Bullets special with all this backstage stuff as a completely separate DVD release than Bullets, and it's at the same price point too as Bullets, which is around 7,000 yen right now. Yep. So I'm interested to see when people get that. I have not personally pre-ordered that, but it drops on July 26th. So I'm excited to see more about that. I might decide to pick it up, but I guess we'll just have to see on that.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see what the bonuses are a little further out this time before I make any decisions.
They had Amazon and Animate listed that lottery, which I'm curious if they'll do something other than the lottery situation, seeing that you wouldn't be able to attend necessarily. Well, maybe you could, you never know. But
yeah. I'm also sort of vaguely wondering if they might, at that talk event in October, maybe talk about the Even a Worm musical that they hinted at, so maybe we get an adaptation somewhere.
That would be great. So what Maria's referring to,
I heard Even a Worm.
Yeah, at the very end of the latest musical, Reload, they actually show a silhouette of Hazel and Gat while the Iku kind of stands there looking out to the distance or staring into the void, staring into the void, wondering when the next musical is going to come. But for more information on that, you can visit sayukikagekiden.net. I will include a link in the video description, so we'll have that all taken care of for you. Yeah, I don't really want to talk about cast or anything like that. I figure if people have questions, they can address it to us, or just go check the website.
Yeah, we also don't need me talking about Migashun for like the next year. So
I have on a second. I'll get this out, but I have on a second document the cast lists. So we could talk about the principal cast versus whatever. I figure if people are interested in that, we can always talk about that elsewhere in like a subsequent thing. No big deal. So yeah, that's all I have for the musical stuff. It's just a lot of content. There's a lot of new releases. Oh, I guess actually there is one more thing I forgot to mention. I mentioned, of course, that there's 5 musicals, and the first one was Go to the West. The second one was Dead or Alive, and those DVDs were actually kind of hard to obtain or had gone out of print. Interestingly enough, they re-released them. They bundled both of those musicals and their backstage content into a bundled re-release. And I've actually never seen that before with stage. I think that the latter musicals were so popular, and they're still easy to buy even now.
Yeah, they are.
They went back and re-released the first 2, which are kind of these campy, silly things that were a little low budget, and they had different core cast. But yeah, they released those last month on May 10th? Yeah, I think it was May 10th is when they put that out. So where are we going back to Salt now?
I don't know if did we want to discuss, I mean, I know it's been a while, but did we want to discuss what's been going on currently in the manga? All right, spoilers ahoy! All right, Captain, we're gonna talk a little bit about the latest Blast chapters.
Yeah.
So, somebody interesting has shown up in Saiyuki World, who has been comatose, basically, for over 500 years. Our war god Nataku has decided to show up in the series, and he has already left his mark because he has taken away a character. He has literally killed, not a main character, but somebody who is very important to the series. We're in spoiler territory, so I'm just going to say it. Nataku has straight up more than likely killed Doku Kakuji. And Gojo does not know. Gojo does not know this.
Yep, and Kogashi was there, and it was not pretty.
No, it's very emotional. Not only that,
I'm actually really hoping that they animate until that point because I want to hear Kogaji's reaction really badly. Also, I want to be dead inside, but
well, we're already dead.
They go
inside.
hand in hand.
Just darken my already black heart.
I cried that day.
The worst part is I believe at the end of the chapter or in like the cover, she drew a picture of Doku holding a flower and smiling. And people were like, just stab me more, because that's what Minakura did. Mm-hmm. The other thing too is Kogaji completely roasted Sanzo, so get ready for that.
Literally,
like we roast the series, but not as roasted as Sanzo at the end of that chapter. So
I think to like Saiyuki, you have to enjoy your favorite characters getting beat up.
Yeah, because that's pretty much what the series is.
I mean, Minakura enjoys it, so we should enjoy it too.
Mm-hmm. I support Minakura and her need to completely obliterate our favorite characters. So basically, a couple things have happened up until this point. The guys were fired.
Wah, wah.
Yep.
Sanzo was pissed. And yeah, he's not happy. And at some point, while all this is going on, Kanzian has been basically incapacitated. The last time we see her, she is on the ground unconscious. And she's pretty darn strong, so we're all like, what has happened to our goddess? Nataku shows up, and he tries to obliterate a yokai village, and Shiraku, who, interestingly enough, has not appeared on the Saiyuki anime website, is attempting to fend him off, and, of course, our guys show up like knights in shining armor, except they're all jerks, so they're not quite knights. They show up, and they try to take on Nataku, and don't do very well. So basically, yeah, I mean, as to be expected, they're very cocky and they like to think they can take somebody on, and then they get completely, humiliated.
Can I sidebar for a second on this one?
Yes.
If you haven't read the latest chapter of Blast, it's beautiful in terms of the ego has come back together. They're fighting, the art, the movement, everything in that chapter is just gorgeous. So I highly recommend.
It is.
It's been a while since our guys were able to go all out like that on page, so it was really cool to see. Even if they did get wrecked at the end.
And the best thing was before this chapter, they were fighting against each other. They were mad at each other. They were talking about another big issue, Gojo's demon mark. Mm-hmm. Our boy is showing signs. He's got it looks like a fiery tribal tattoo on the back of his neck. And there was
Not for the first time.
There's been times that Minakura has drawn him with tribal fiery markings. I guess she was experimenting. And Hawkeye basically was not wanting to talk about this, but Sanzo found out, and next thing you know, they're all fighting each other. Not like they were doing what they usually do, but basically just not getting along. And the one person who was able to get them to cool their heads was Hakuryu. He threw them out of the Jeep.
Threw them straight out.
He's like, you guys, you gonna mess around like this, you get off my back.
Yeah, put him out. Goku was trying to simmer him down, but they weren't listening.
Yeah, he didn't have a loud enough voice to get them to calm down.
No.
They basically kind of reconciled a bit.
Oh,
One other thing with that sequence, though, is somebody started smoking.
Oh yes. I think our healer has decided that he needed to take a smoking break. He's
Yeah,
Hawkeye's had enough, and he's like, you know what? Just pass me a cigarette. Let's do this.
yeah.
Rest in peace, Goku's lungs. I am so sorry, my
Poor
child.
Goku. By the time the journey's over, they're like, yeah, I'm gonna do fun. No, you've already got, like lung cancer just from being around these guys. Good luck, kid.
Hey, you finished this journey. You stopped the minus wave. Your reward is lung cancer.
Good job, kid. So we don't know how Gojo's going to react about Nataku killing Doku. And here's the other concern I have is if Goku somehow remembers Nataku, is he going to be on Gojo's side or is he going to want to protect Nataku because that was his best friend? Or my worst fear is that they kill Nataku or Nataku somehow dies and Goku never fully remembers. Because you can see in the chapters he says that guy looks familiar, but he has no problem attacking him. But if Goku does, that's my concern is you're going to have him pick a side. Is that something that may happen?
Right, or if somehow Nataku seems to be either controlled or he's just completely out of it. He has no personality. He's full robotic doll mode again.
Blank eyes, yeah.
You don't really know what's going on with him at this point.
Neither does Kanzian.
So it's all theories, yeah.
Even Kanzian has no idea what's going on, and she's the great overseer. She sees what's been going on, and even she wants answers, and because of her wanting to find answers, she is now knocked out. So there is something very big coming.
Back to merch just for a moment.
Yes.
There's been a lot of stuff with Gaiden getting merch, and I'm a little bit sad that Nataku, who is actually in Blast, has been left out of all of that. Mm-hmm. I would totally love a couple of little Nataku keychains to display with my Gokus, so
Yeah, little buddies.
companies, get on it.
Come on, Plaid-Viz. We're here. We're excited. We'll buy it.
Yeah, I'll buy several. I mean, I'll buy several of someone else, but I'm not going to get into that.
Because the salt will flow. The salt. When I talk about my theory, you're going to probably be even saltier. So I apologize in advance. Another interesting thing is two characters who have only been introduced in Blast. They probably will, I'm guessing, will have a bigger role in the new anime because they've shown up a lot in the previews, and that is Terushi and Saitai Sui. Now, Terushi is a fairly new character, and she already has links to Aibun, which is another Saiyuki series that unfortunately has been on hiatus for a little while, which focuses on Home, who is, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be making you salty here, but it focuses on Home, who is Komyu, who is Sanzo's mentor. Anyway, she has ties to Aibun, but she also seems to have something else. Like, she knows things. But also Saitai Sui has flat out mentioned that he has been watching Sanzo Priest for many years, and he has actually appeared several times in Reload, not only as just an observer, but he's also appeared in Goku's dreams and made some very interesting statements. So I'm kind of thinking maybe they'll be used as plot devices for the inclusion of Gaiden into the series. Into the anime, I should say.
I'm definitely thinking they're going to be utilized for flashbacks because they seem to know way too much about the past. So maybe we'll get the Okoku fight. Ha ha ha.
That's my hope too. But we'll see.
We'll see. Especially because Saitai Sui seems to have connections to one of the various people working at Wang. His name is Wang. I remembered. Wang at Hotu Castle. So that's going to be interesting, and I really can't wait to see where that goes in the manga. And if they explore that in the anime, I'd like to see what they do with that as well.
So another question we seem to have is where is Zakuro? He's probably lost somewhere. But the other important mega question is, what is our boy Ukoku up to, and how badly are his eyes damaged?
Oh gosh,
I vote blind.
Go ahead, let it out. We're here to have a fun conversation about Saiyuki.
I'm really hoping it's only one eye, just based on the fact that I adore the way she draws his eye shape and everything. So I'm hoping one's still there, but all blind would be really neat too, to see him still like so capable of wrecking people while being blind. I'll have an amazing time with that. So, I mean, he's probably fully blind, but I'm hoping just one.
Yeah, just think about black blindfold. Come on. How badass would that be?
Don't.
And just to be a nerd, he still keeps his glasses on over it.
No.
Yeah, that's how he's gonna show back up at the castle with his eyes completely wrapped up, wearing his glasses. Like, hey, what's up?
Hey guys, how's it
I
going?
haven't been gone
the
6
googly
months.
eyes on the bandana.
I mean, does that not sound correct?
I mean, for the way he is, yeah, he's a little eccentric.
Well, that being said, I feel like this is probably a good spot to talk about your theory, since we're talking about.
Okay, so I have a theory. I'm hoping it's obviously just a theory, and that's all it is. I'm not saying it's true, but there's some things that I've noticed that kind of make me go, that's a little bit strange and interesting. So the Saiyuki website has been updating, and one of the things that they update are future events. Like they've talked about the cafe, they've talked about the special preview of the first episode. Now, what's interesting is that I believe is it December? Yes, December 17th, they are having an event called First Bullet. That's December 17th, 2017, which is a Sunday. And it's going to include all the voice actors along with some other people. Now, okay, that's cool. The series is only 12 episodes. It'll probably see July, August, September. It'll be over before October. So having an event in December, okay, that seems to make sense. Maybe they're promoting like, hey, people go buy the DVDs. What struck out as odd to me is that they are doing a second event in February of 2018, and that's very weird to me because that's pretty much 7 months away, and the anime is way over by then. So part of me has this theory that basically the series is going to end, and who knows, the guys drive off and they're going forward to Hoto Castle or wherever they're going to go. The credits roll, but there's a little animation at the end, and you see a guy with black robes, and he's got a blindfold and he's going, oh, it seems like things are getting interesting. And the next thing you see is Saiyuki Reload Season 2, Winter 2018, or something like that. And then that's why there's an event in February to promote a quote-unquote flashback season for Even a Worm, because it doesn't make sense to me. This is why I tell people to support the anime, because maybe if we're lucky, this promotion that they're having in February of all time would be to promote the possibility of a second season. And of course, there's no way there's going to be enough content for there to be more Blast animation, but they have 6 volumes of Even a Worm that could be properly adapted. And that's why I'm thinking if they end it with Ukoku watching on the horizon, season 2 would be like it would be like a hint that, hey, we're going to animate what we know people really want to see. That was my theory, and I hope somehow it comes true.
I really do as well.
Please
Please make this happen. Otherwise, your only chance at this is a musical. Not that that's a bad thing, but why can't we have both? Let's just have both.
¿Por qué no los dos?
You know what? If we're gonna have both, we may as well go for 3 and finish the drama CDs too, since all the actors are back in it.
That's true. The Even a Worm drama CD finished up in the middle of the Oasis arc. I would really like to hear Sanzo crying in terror as Ukoku torments him. Seriously, Platinum Vision, I know you probably will never see this, but please, so many people would love to see just Ukoku, Yokai Hawkeye, Setten Taisei, fighting Yokai Hawkeye, Sanzo getting his butt kicked. I mean, people love that stuff. Hazel,
a cash cow too.
proper.
Come on.
Even a worm would be such a cash cow because that is by far one of the best arcs in the series. I mean, Saiyuki has had many good arcs, but this one has so much character development. I mean, just so many good scenes. Every character has some representation. They all do something during this arc. It's just so good. And the fact that we have not had a proper adaptation for it. Part of me believes that this arc or this anime is done and they're kind of testing the water to see if there's still a big fan base that is interested in anime. And I'm hoping that they go, okay, why don't we go ahead and animate this older arc, because we already know people enjoy the anime. So that is my big dream, is that they notice that and they go, let's give the people what they want.
And I know that the Japanese fan base really wants Even a Worm too. It may have something to do with the fact that a lot of my circle with that are Ukoku fans, and they feel like they are missing out. But the demand is there in Japan too, which of course is usually the more important thing. But, we're all united. Yay! One thing I do want to say about Even a Worm, and I'm not quite sure what this is yet, but one of the Zero Sums was teasing a little mini volume of 3 specific arcs, Even a Worm being one of them, Burial and Kami-sama being the other 2, which I'm like, yay, my 3 favorite arcs, yay, I'm going to spend more money. But those are going to go on sale at some point, but we don't really have any information about them besides that. But that means that the merch producers know that there's demand for Even a Worm too, so who knows what that means.
Also, we know Hawkeye and Sanzo are pretty much the top 2 favorites, and so many people would probably just explode if Yokai Hawkeye was properly animated. Every anime has had hints of Yokai Hawkeye. We've seen the vines, we've seen the limiters come off, but we've never seen him fight. And I'm pretty sure that's just driving people insane. Seriously though, Even a Worm, our favorite arc, we're really hoping that it's animated someday. Even if they don't do an anime, maybe they do an OVA. I mean, it would be very hard because, again, 6 volumes adapted into OVAs. But again, I'm hoping that they go, all right, we're just going to animate it because it's so popular right now. It would be silly not to animate it.
Yeah, and I have seen OVA studios. This is with Tales of Symphonia. They did the whole game as a set of 3 or 4 OVAs released over the course of time. So that's actually kind of what I wish they would redo with the whole Saiyuki series in general, but that's just me dreaming. But they could do a series of OVAs to cover Even a Worm or whatever.
Or at least major parts of it, yeah.
Because there were some parts that you could probably trim out if you really, really had to fit it into like a 3-episode thing, but it would have to be like at least a 2-part OVA for sure.
Yeah.
Or 3-part. Like 3 threes, not...
Bare minimum, yeah.
Yeah.
The 3
Which is
Yeah.
why if they do a musical, I think they're going to do 2 musicals for it, not 1.
They would have to, yeah. There's just too much.
Well, there's no girls in the musical, so they'll have to cut out every single bit of that, so,
Oh, well, not necessarily. If you've gone back and looked at some of these.
Yeah, I know, right?
They find a way.
They do. And you know what? It usually looks pretty good. So, I mean, there are questionable times, but it usually looks okay.
Yeah. Well, they had Renri or Renly, depending on the way you translate it, in Dead or Alive, which covers the Desert Scorpion demon arc. They did have a male actor for that character. And, well, I mean, this character is a cross-dresser too, but still, they did a really good job.
Yeah, they did. And the ones that they had for the random dancer girls in Burial looked really good.
Yeah, I was just thinking of Renly because of the speaking role. Actually had a speaking role, which is good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's I find ways. And then they had Kanzian, which doesn't really fully count either. Was also played by a guy. But I always joke about Kanzian in the musicals. It's only in the 1 and 2, having the 5 o'clock shadow and the Bolton breasts, it's quirky and fun. Yeah. Well, we already talked about how to support things and whatnot.
Yeah,
you want to talk about PKR?
Yeah, so if you're trying to look for old manga in English, you can still find them pretty cheap on Amazon actually, because I bought like most of the series for like $4 per volume. I mean, sometimes even cheaper. The problem is Tokyo Pop does not distribute the manga anymore. But if you can buy it, I mean, But we also have PKR, which is, if I believe it's Project Kurai Ryu. Let me double check before I get that. I'm just making sure, because I wanna give them a little shout out, because they've got the Saiyuki Reload Blast scans up. Yes, it is Project Kurai Ryu. We'll make sure to have a link for that for you. They have not only the Saiyuki Reload Blast volumes and chapters, they also have Aibun that they're working on. They're working on Gaiden as well. And they even have, basically, here's my thing. If you're reading them online, the only reason I mention Project Cry Ryu in particular is because they have the chapters in order. If you go to a lot of websites that you read online, the chapters are not in order, or they're missing chapters. And one in particular you may not see is Sky Burial, which is a arc where there's a demon that has he does a sky burial with some vultures, and one of them he claims to be his son, and it just has a very, very feels type moment with Goku and thinking about if where souls go after they die. And it's a very, like, for me, it's a very interesting chapter, and a lot of websites don't have it because it didn't, like, the full chapter did not appear in Zero Sum. It appeared as a side booklet. So definitely check out Project Kurai Ryu. They have pretty good scans. They have the translations on there. Minakura.net. She has some. I don't think they're selling anymore, but they did have stuff from Festa. But I think there's some other merchandise that she's got on there.
Yep, there's a bunch of re-releases of the most recent Animate straps and pin sets on there, as well as a couple of new things that are exclusive to their last that I checked.
Yeah, she also, if you're wondering, again, why there hasn't been a chapter, she did a ton of art for Saiyuki Festa, which happened back in January. She had postcards,
yes.
She had acrylic charms, she had all kinds of really beautiful art. So, again, we totally understand why there hasn't been a chapter. She has been working very hard. And if you can, support Saiyuki by telling, folks about it. If somebody's like saying, hey, what kind of manga do you like? You can tell them about Saiyuki. Why not? Hey, I read this manga called Saiyuki. Seriously, word of mouth definitely helps, because then people learn about Saiyuki, or hey, even like posting stuff on Tumblr or on Twitter or whatever your favorite social media site is, getting the word out. We're definitely expecting the new anime is going to bring in some new fans. So, just definitely... social media advertisement's always good.
I mean, even just with the first preview, we already have people that are not familiar cropping up on Tumblr, cropping up on our Discord. So we have a Saiyuki fan Discord. We should probably include a link for that as well.
Check it
out. People who want to come and chat with us. But we do have a Discord server for that. But we have all kinds of people cropping up, either that were old fans, or we have people that are not even familiar with the series but had seen the previews on Tumblr and elsewhere. So yes, evangelize. And even things like, I've run stream events for the musicals On and Off, and we occasionally pick up people from those too, which is always interesting because they're not familiar with, they have no context for anything, and they go, oh, nope, well, this is interesting. So yeah, just tell your friends.
Yeah, I can definitely, just sort of semi-on topic, I can definitely tell our Discord is usually pretty active, but we're definitely seeing new faces. And let me just say, I'm not bragging, we have one of the chillest Discord rooms ever. Like, everyone is super, super nice, and we definitely welcome. We don't care if you've been a fan for 19 years or you literally just started reading it 19 minutes ago. We welcome you to our chat room. We love talking with new people. If you have questions, there's always somebody there that will be able to, you can talk with. And if you just want to lurk, you can just lurk. You don't have to come and talk.
Definitely.
I mean, we embrace everybody. So yeah, I'm just saying, if you're looking for a place to chat with other Saiyuki fans, and obviously there's Tumblr, but then Discord is sort of fairly new. It's like a new chat room service. And what's nice about it is you don't have to download it. You can totally do the browser option, which is really nice.
Right, and it's a really good place to get the news too, because sometimes you can follow Nikki's blog. Nikki's blog is fantastic for news, but on the Discord, it's fast and furious, and we tag or we pin things to the channels accordingly and whatnot. So we're trying to keep on top of all the stuff, especially with all the merch stuff coming out. It's so fast and furious. It's impossible to stay on top of.
We have people that are hanging out on, like, you know, watching the social media, and the minute we see something, post it to Discord. Just, you know, what's that? Somebody posted a picture at the cafe event, posted. Yeah, people just post art or post images and stuff like that. And just in general, it's fun because we talk about different theories and things like that. So just pretty cool.
Yeah, you raise a really good point about the aggregation aspect of it. Is I always talk about Tumblr because that's usually my famous haunts, but a lot of stuff goes on Twitter and other places or the various websites. So if you don't have the kind of time to go to 5-6 different places to find your news, that's your best bet. Go to Nikki's first and then come.
we usually reblog each other, so eventually you're going to see everybody's stuff. We're like one big entity after a while. So
yeah, pretty much. I mean, if as soon as I see something new, I'm like, okay, check Nikki's blog. Okay, post.
Yeah, all right, there it is.
it will show up on Tumblr somehow.
Yeah,
it will show up. All right, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I think we're pretty good. I mean, just get excited. The new anime is almost less than 2 weeks away at this point.
I know.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
And
honestly.
And just think about it. We haven't had a new anime in, like, let me see, 2017. The last anime was like 2003, I think.
It was 2003.
2003. Yeah. It has been a while since we have had an anime. So
was it really 2003?
It was Reload and Gunlock aired in 2003. The first anime aired. Well, the first premium OAV aired in 1999, and then Genso came out in 2000, which had all the voice actors we know today. Premium had different voice actors except for Hawkeye. Hawkeye stayed as Hawkeye. But we had Genso in 2000, which was 50 episodes. Then we had Reload Gunlock, which altogether was 50 episodes. Then we had Burial, which was 3 OAVs. And then we had Gaiden, which was 3 OAVs plus the special Ants of Heaven. Yeah, it's interesting because this is why I would love a total reboot, because as much as I love the fact that we're getting animes, they all have completely different art styles. So if you were to do a music video and you put Gaiden, and I've seen it, there's a music video that has Gaiden from Genso Maden and Gaiden from the OAVs and some Burial clips, and everything, it just kind of is jarring because it's like, this is awesome. Whoa. Why does Kenran have pink hair?
I know exactly which one you're talking about, too.
It's my favorite. It's a beautiful music video. But yes, unfortunately, this is why I really hope one day when the series is done or getting close to finishing, they pull a Full Metal Brotherhood and they just animate it from the beginning and just go straight through. And hey, if that's Platinum Viz, then even better, because they could be like, no, we don't need to animate this part of Blast because we've already done it. Here we go. We're going to skip to the final battle.
Yes.
I really, really hope that Platinum Viz does a great job with it, because I really can get behind them a lot more than I've been able to get behind any other of the anime so far. So.
I think it's definitely nice that we had a new studio. And when they mentioned there was going to be a new anime, I was very, very scared because because we've been burned in the past. We have felt pain before.
Yeah.
I run a blog called, Shitty Saiyuki Screen Cap, so I'm just saying we've seen quality, and I'm sure there's going to be moments. I know there's going to be moments where the anime is not beautiful, but if for the most part it can stay pretty consistent, I will be happy, because the thing is with Genso Maden and with Reload and Gunlock, you could watch one episode, like the episode with the Kami-sama arc. Like, they were fighting Kami-sama and they got their butt kicks, and it's like, wow, they really put a lot of budget in this episode. And the next episode, you had Sanzo's hourglass ass, and it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Well, I think they were trying to do a fan service thing too, and it was just so bizarre and out of place. Like, why would you put this fisheye lens ass out of nowhere on screen?
Oh, come on. We all love it.
I'm not hating on the ass. That's not the problem here.
I think what's interesting is when I I'm aging myself, but I was old enough that I actually was watching Gunlock Reload somewhat as it was airing, because back then we didn't have website. Yeah, we didn't have websites that uploaded it the same day. We had to wait like 2 weeks for somebody to upload it. Anyway,
And you had to wait for somebody to sub it because
it was usually like a year before they were even subbed. But here's here's the thing too. I didn't feel a lot of passion in Reload and Gunlock. I'm feeling some passion from this new series. I mean, we've seen all these adorable chibi arts. The Twitter, they're constantly talking about the series. They're constantly bringing out merchandise. And yeah, some of the promotional art hasn't been great, but some of it's really, really nice to look at. And the important thing is the art for the animation, for the previews, have been pretty top notch. So if we get something like that, it's going to be very exciting to see. And I'm hoping, again, they're a new studio, and I feel like for them, this is a lot on their shoulders, because they're going to be animating a series. While it's older, it's a very popular series, so people will be, scrutinizing to see how they do.
Well, just look at all of the excitement for, this is the 20th anniversary this year.
Yes.
And they're releasing, I mean, it seems like there's a lot of that going on lately, where what's old is now new again, which is really cool to see, especially when it's one of the waves that they're finally doing.
That's actually something I want to bring up just real quick. The Sanzo statue by Kotobukiya, they have been doing a lot of bringing back old series through merchandise stuff. Obviously it's all ones that are having anniversaries too. Like, they did a full set of Yu Yu Hakusho figures. They're doing old original Yu-Gi-Oh figures, and they're doing full lines of these every time, even going into like kind of side characters or like in the past characters. So I'm really thinking that they are going to go all the way with the Saiyuki line too, which is super exciting.
All I know is if there's a Seton statue, my mom will have to stop me from putting that like in the middle of my house. Because
you just get the big glass.
I would just get like a big, and she would be like, what is this? I'm like, you don't understand his importance.
You just have to deal with this.
Yes.
Well, it's just funny to me that your mom comes into your house and is like, I'm gonna take this down.
I'm not too happy with this. No, because I have the Sanzo statue. He's sitting in his box nice and safe, because I'm afraid my cats will try to knock him over. I'm going to find a safe spot for him, but I'm very excited to see what the next statues that come out, because they've got to do more than Sanzo.
I definitely think they're going to. I have a lot of faith in Kotobukiya as a company. As I mentioned with the Yu-Gi-Oh line, for those who are and are not familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh, there was an ancient Egyptian arc like way in the past. They're doing figures from that too. That potentially means Gaiden figures if the Saiyuki ones sell well enough.
That would be amazing.
And Sanzo sold out everywhere. Like, I'm used to a lot of websites having a couple in stock the day of release. Not the case.
No, he's very hard to get right now.
That's, speaking as a figure collector, that's really unusual, because I've been able to pick up something like the week after it's been out. Not the case with him. Anywhere. And I've checked, like, even the sites I don't check to see if he was in stock still. And I was like, all right.
What's the aftermarket for him right now?
I haven't looked too much, but I've seen him. But I have seen him still at retail, but that's on like auction websites, so he can shoot up at the end of the auctions. So it's kind of hard to judge, but yeah, he's sitting at retail, possibly going up. So get him while you can.
You can tell that these have been popular. I mean, the only site that I can really check to see popularity is AmiAmi, but like when the Saiyuki Chibis came out last year, the ones where they're on the rocks, they were showing in the top 5 for about a week, like top 5 most pre-ordered. And when Sanzo's statue came out, his was in the top 5 for like a week. People will buy the Saiyuki stuff. I mean, it is still so big in Japan. The fact that there is something called Saiyuki Festa every couple years, and the fact, I mean, what they say, there was like 20,000 people at the last Festa. Like they had to cut it off. Yeah. And I recall somebody was in our Discord chat, and they said that they had gotten there, but they got there too late and they couldn't get in because there were so many people.
It's wild. Yeah. When was the last one? It was 2009?
There was an event between then, but that was the last one called Saiyuki Festa.
Yeah, because they had Dyson guns at one point, which was a collaboration with Wild Adapter.
Oh yeah, read Wild Adapter.
Even though that's been on hiatus for a while too. Anyway,
if you like dark things and Yakuza, read Wild Adapter.
And drugs. Because that's what the series about is drugs.
It's true.
But yeah, I mean, I pretty much loved pretty much all her series. But yeah, Festa, you know, that had a lot of people, and if you were on Twitter, it was a constant stream of pictures and people showing. It was like I wanted so bad to be there. It seemed like such an amazing place to be, and I was super happy when Minakura's website had the stuff from the event that you could buy online, and I was like, thank goodness, because a lot of it, like you guys mentioned, are exclusives, and those are harder to get in the States.
Yeah, Mara, you ended up doing a group order with a bunch of people from the Discord, actually, so that was a great plan.
And if there's ever like a massive amount of things on Minakura.net, I will definitely be letting people know and helping people arrange orders and stuff, because it is a lot of work. Nikki, you did it too, and I was stressed doing it.
I was just my main concern was, did I do this right? Did I mess this up?
Because you have to enter an address in Japanese, and I'm just like, I can't read that.
Oh yeah, if they ever release the the Saiyuki Reload shirts again, the one that had the splash mark on it, I think, and then I think a brown one with the Eco and Jeep on it, I want that. I haven't seen that in a while.
I've seen it on the auctions, but you don't want to know the markup.
Oh, no.
I don't even look for a reason. I don't look
$100
for a t-shirt. No way.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Even I have my limits, so.
Well, all right. I think that might be all we need to cover for today.
So.
We can always do subsequent podcasts as depending on how popular this is or how things are going when we are watching the series.
Or if we just feel like talking.
I mean, we literally could have, like you mentioned, we could literally have a podcast about musical information. We could literally have a podcast about Saiyuki theories and stuff like that. Yeah, I think we covered everything. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to say before we sign off?
No, I think I'm good.
Yeah, thanks everyone for listening.
All right, thank you everyone for listening to our show. We hope you have enjoyed it as much as we have by recording it. And if you are interested in more Saiyuki related news and info, please be sure to check out our blogs, and we hope to see you at the next podcast. You guys have a great day. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.